It's Jessie here with the Two Sticks and String podcast. I am so glad that you are here today. This is a podcast or a Flosstube all about knitting, crochet, cross stitch, K-pop, and cats. If any of those float your boat, happy to have you here. Welcome. If it's not for you, totally fine. Lots of other options for you out there, and I hope you find the one that works for you. This is a podcast that is a hot mess and minimally edited because that's what I have time in my life for. So I hope that you enjoy. If you want to get in touch with me, you can find me on Instagram at Army Wife Knitting Life. You can find me on Ravelry as Army Wife Knit Life. You can always find our Ravelry group. It's a little dead, but it's the Two Sticks and String. Just look for Patrol the Owl. You see him at the beginning of every podcast here, and you'll know you're in the right spot. Also, I am coming to you from about an hour south of Savannah, Georgia. I figured I should probably start saying that just so if there's others of you that watch that are maybe local to the area, I'd love to be able to catch up with you, maybe meet up somewhere. So that's me. I'm an Army spouse, and he's been in for 12 years. I never like to say that I've been in too. I'm just a spouse. And we've got 3 cats, Bella, Berlin, and Maki. You might sometimes see them floating around in my background. And I always say that my room is a mess, and that is definitely true right now. I am about to be going through a deep clean purge of some things, so be prepared. I might be having a little yarn de-stash soon, and I might throw in a few cross-stitch things. I haven't gone through them yet, so I don't know for sure on that, but I have started to go through my yarn, and I do have a laundry hamper full and ready to go of stuff that I'm ready to de-stash. So that Instagram is Army Wife Knitting Life de-stash. I will link it up on my stories before I do anything, and when I have further information, I'll be posting that on there. So definitely make sure to check it out, and I'll probably try to do it in May. That way I can come one more time and give you specific dates so you know exactly when to look. Just know that I'm starting that process. So if you might need or want to save up for some things, I have some good yarn in there from dyers that don't dye anymore. So who knows, you might find something that you love and always wanted but missed out on. So let's see. I don't have a lot. I told y'all last time that I had surgery on my arm, and I was still dealing with just grieving from my grandfather. So I really didn't get to do a lot of crafting up until about 5 or 6 days ago. Not like I could go for like maybe 5 or 6 minutes at a time, but nothing substantial. So my whip pile and finishes is very low today. There is the body of Maki. Full name Macchiato, because my husband, when we found her, he said that her fur looked like a fancy coffee. So yeah, we just call her Maki though. This is a finished object for me. Woohoo! Here we go. It is my crochet granny hexagon cardigan, and I have been wearing this everywhere, y'all. Let me just throw it on. I love it so much. I do need to weave in an end or two on here still. Most of the others are covered, but I love it so much. I think it's very easy. It took me like 3 days in total if I sat down and timed how much work I put into it. But it's simple. This was my first one. I actually already have plans to make 2 more. I actually taught someone how to crochet on Friday last week, and she is in love with this cardigan and wants to make one. And I said, you know, we can practice a granny square really quickly, and next time you come, if you want to make that, we can do it, because it's pretty much just one stitch over and over and over again. So it might be happening. We will see. I have to talk to her probably this weekend, and then we'll figure out a date and set aside. And I will show you the yarn I'm using when I actually start it. And I just ordered yarn for another one that's in a DK weight, so it'll be a little smaller and a little more neutral in tones, because I love that one, but she's bright. She is the center of attention. She is the party. She is the drama. And that's great sometimes. Other times I just want to kind of blend in. So that is Red Heart Super Saver, the granny square one, which is, I have a little left over. It took me about less than 3 balls to make it, because this is my third one. I was using a 7mm hook, and this is the Black Rad Party colorway. So yeah, that's what the label looks like. And I have kind of said I'm a yarn snob before, I think, but only partially. I think that acrylic has its place. So I've never judged someone for using it, especially if that means you're able to craft instead of not able to craft, because it's what you can afford, totally for it. But I will say I am a Red Heart snob, and I have hated Red Heart for 1,000 years. But that one is not bad. I've seen a lot of friends I go to 2 knitting crochet groups here in town every week, one on Friday and one on Sunday. And I saw a lot of people working with Red Heart, that particular line of Red Heart, at my Sunday group. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to try it. And I'm really glad I did. The only other yarn project I have, this is Lion Brand Big Scoop of Love. It's in the strawberry colorway, and it's just another little corner to corner, because as I said last episode, I try really hard to have a stash of baby blankets ready to go. I'm crocheting this with a 5.5mm, by the way, and I don't really have any baby girl blankets, so that's going to be my new one. And then the last whip that I have is my Pokemon full coverage. As I said, I've only started to work past 5 days. This bag is from Just Crossing Stitches. They have an Etsy. It's the cutest. I'll show you the inside in a second. I always get the little matching notions, because sometimes if it's a project that has only a few colors, I can put all of my flosses in here and just keep it neat and together. Pokemon is too large. It has its own floss box. But so, black cats here and here. And I love it because Berlin is an all black cat, and don't tell the others, she's my favorite. They're all my favorite. She's my favorite panther. She's just an angel baby. She doesn't cause any problems, and she just wants love. So yeah, this is Just Crossing Stitches, and that doesn't go there. I decided that I was going to work and get my stitching all the way to the edge of the frames on both sides, because I'm going to move this over, so next time I work on it, I want to make sure that I've counted correctly. You can see where I've marked where it should end. I'm just an over checker. I checked it 2 or 3 times before I put the final mark in there, but I'd really like to stitch all the way over and all the way down, just to be 100% certain before I put in years of work into the center. I want to make sure that the frames match the size I need. And there is a little excess, so that's fine. I just would rather get it checked beforehand. So last time y'all saw it, it's been a minute, I was working over here in Dratini, who's my favorite Pokemon. And I've since worked all of this. I've worked all of this. Looks like I have the beginning of a coughing or wheezing started here. And then the needle minder is TARDIS, just one more ride. Or my other ride is a TARDIS. And I believe it's from Kim's Needle Minders. This is all the called for colors. The pattern is from Lord Libidin, and the fabric is from Dying for Cross Stitch. It's just in a 11 by 11 Q snap. I am really enjoying this piece these past few days. It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it, and I've been having some fun FaceTime sessions with my friend Natalie, and she's been kind of keeping me motivated on going on it. So thanks, Natalie. I appreciate you. I'm so happy you're my friend. So that is all of my crafty stuff that I've been working on. So now it's time to tell you about what my plans are for April. So as I've discussed before, now that I've started to switch this over from being mostly knit and crochet to being more cross stitch, I want to be able to have multiple projects to show you all every month so it doesn't get boring. So my goal is to always have one full coverage a month going. I have 2 that I switch between. I let a wheel decide which one it's going to be. I like to have one Frosted Pumpkin Studios project on the go. I like to have a seasonal one. I like to have a small, my choice, random, whatever. And I also like to have either one whip that I pull out and work on or one new start that I work on, and that changes every single month. This is April. It's an even month, and so that means new start. So we're going to figure out which one that's going to be in a moment. For the ones that are that I decide, I've already pulled. So we have the first one. You all saw it last time. This is Storytime Sampler from Frosted Pumpkin. All the called for fabric and floss, because I bought this as a kit from Frosted Pumpkin a long time ago. Needle minder is, of course, from Kim's Needle Minders. And so, yeah, this is going to be my Frosted Pumpkin. I didn't really get a lot of time to work on it in February or in March because recovering and trips and sad. So I want to be able to give it a little more love and attention. I would at least, my ultimate goal on this, at the very least, if I do nothing else, is to finish the frame of the first story. And I believe it's a Peter Pan, if I remember from the pattern correctly. I want to at least get the frame done, if nothing else. So that's this one. This bag is from Stitching Plaza. Again, I don't know if she still makes bags anymore. This is her Beauty and the Beast. I've had this for at least 8 years now. So I don't know if she still makes them. The next one, this is technically my choice, and this one is not small by any means, but it's so close to getting finished. I would really like to get it done. And this is my Barbara Anna Designs. There we go. Dancer. I'm really close. All I have left is to finish off the buildings and add a little back stitching in snow. So it's really close to being done. So close. I'm determined to get this completed. The fabric is from Seraphim Fabrics. This is their French Blue Ada 16 count. I got it at Barefoot Needle Arts, which is my favorite local needle store. It's in Myrtle Beach. I go all the time with my mother anytime I'm down. The needle minder is from A Needle Runs Through It, which I ended up buying from Frosted Pumpkin. I think it's super cute. There's the pattern a little better, and it's showing pretty true to color. So I really do love it. I think it's beautiful. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that completed sooner rather than later. And the bag, I couldn't tell you who it's from because I have a lot of their bags. I have to look through my Etsy purchases. I'll make sure I have it for next time. But it seems plain, but when you look inside, it's got all of these fun like little Christmas cookies. And then for my seasonal, this is going to be Bobble Birds from Boomerang Stitches. And again, I couldn't tell you who made the bag, but it's stunning. So it's going to be done. Here's where I'm at on it. I'm making 3 of these. This is the first one. And I'm making these as a, this sounds really morbid. I promise it's not meant in that way. My grandmother loves cardinals. There's multiple cardinals in this piece. So when I saw it, I immediately thought of her, just like when I see a seagull, I think of my grandpa. She has been doing okay since he's passed, but there's a lot of studies that show when you're of that age and you lose your spouse, you either make it another 10 plus years or you pass relatively quickly, short after your spouse. So I want to have one of these made so that she can hang it in her house. And this is going to be her Christmas present from me this year. I'm making 2 others because my mother and my aunt are both cross stitchers and crafty people who would appreciate the time and the work that goes into this. My uncles would also appreciate the time and skill it takes. He's a bachelor. He doesn't decorate for Christmas or anything, so it doesn't make sense to make it for him. But I'm going to make one for each of them so that when something does eventually happen, they have a good way to remember her. And then I will eventually inherit this one back from my grandmother whenever she inevitably passes. So I'm making it for her now so she can enjoy it, and I will eventually get it in the future. So making 3. The fabric is a printed one. I got it on 1-2-3 Stitch. I couldn't tell you what it is. I'm a bad floss tuber. Sorry, y'all. But all of the floss is called for. I am not confident enough that I can switch floss really easily. Just for fun facts, I started this one on January 3rd last year. And here's that beautiful inside of the bag. This is not printed on the fabric. This is embroidered. So it is just absolutely stunning. And I truly do love it so much. So this is definitely going to be finished this year. And so it's going to be my seasonal piece, most likely, for the foreseeable future, or until I get so driven crazy by not switching it up that I have to switch to something else. But I'd like to get as far as I can on it. And this is already a decent little start, so not going to complain. It helps if I would put the notions pouch with the fabric back in there. All right, so those are all of the known projects. So now we need to see whether I'm going to be working on my Pokemon full coverage or my 12 days from Hannah Lynn. So let me pull up my little wheel app here really quickly. And we shall see. Which one we're working on, because it apparently, apologies, it had blacked out so that I could only select 12 days of Christmas. So we're gonna fix that really quickly, and part of that is watching an ad. I'm sorry, y'all. Also, just while this is going, my original new start wheel did not have, it only had 12 options, and it will, of course, cancel out new starts as they come, because you can't restart a new well, you can, but I'm not going to unless there's like a major issue. So the last one was Storytime Sampler. Now I added the second Bauble Birds just so I can get it started, and I would eventually like to have all 3 started and going, but so I just added 1 for now, and so I still have 12 options, and when I spin it as a new start, I spin it as a new start. So here we go. All right, looks like we are working on Pokemon again. That's fine with me. So what I will do is next time, I'm going to go ahead and move my frame over to the next set of pages. So all of the progress that you just saw is going to be gone. And I'm going to be almost starting fresh, it feels like. So we're really excited about that. And I'm sorry, my wheel is not wanting to switch over to the new option. So let me just make sure this is covered. All right. And so here we go. All right, I'm going to be starting the Vote As If, which is by Notorious Needlework. I will put a picture, hopefully, of what it looks like here on the screen. And then that's it for the crafty portion of everything for this episode. There's going to be a little bit of K-pop talk, which is BTS's new album is out. It's called Arirang. It came out 11 days ago. It is fabulous. There's been a lot of controversy about it. There's a lot of English on the album, which kind of surprised me at first. But knowing how they're trying to market themselves now, it makes total sense. Because they're wanting to be more global and stop getting put in the K-pop box. And so a good way to become more global is to sing songs in English. And while they themselves were a little concerned about learning all of the English so quickly, they were kind of pushed a little by producers to try and do that. And I think that what they came up with is magic. There is still Korean in the songs. It's just more English than Korean right now. And I think part of this is coming from the success of K-pop Demon Hunters, because that movie took the world by storm last summer. And people are still singing the songs now when we have a very short attention span for a lot of things. So that's pretty impressive. If you want to know my favorites on the album, it's kind of split into two parts. You have a more hip-hop rap based first half, and that's songs like Body to Body, which has it samples the Korean traditional folk song Arirang in it. And I think I talked about kind of what that means in previous episodes. It was wonderful getting to watch the comeback special live on Netflix, which y'all can also watch now if you want and haven't seen it yet. Absolutely worth it. Even if you've never really heard their music before, this is a great time to get into them. And seeing how much dedication they put into their work is really nice. But seeing it performed live on that comeback special, I started to cry. I'm not even Korean, but when they sang Arirang, I cried just because it's such a piece of patriotism and national pride, and not in a bad way, but in a, this is shared history and everyone in the country knows the song and knows the meaning behind it. So it was something really special to see. And even watching people react on Instagram and TikTok to this, people that don't listen to K-pop, don't listen to BTS in general, if they're Korean, they've heard this, they've been shown it, and just watching their face as they realize that this is the reason that they're listening to the song, is to hear this Arirang. It's just magical. It truly is, and it's heartwarming. It goes Body to Body is the first song, then it's Hooligan, which one of my top 2 rap songs on the album, top 3 overall. Then it's Aliens, which I'm not going to go into detail on every single song. I'm just really excited about the album and I want to share it with y'all. Aliens is really nice. It's a lot more balanced between Korean and English, more Korean than anything. And what I love about it is that it's talking about how they feel like aliens in the Western world because Western media says that they're too Korean, whereas when you look at Eastern media and Korean media, they all say that they've been too Westernized. So it's about how they feel alien in both worlds. And Things like changing into slippers in the house can make them feel like aliens when they're here in the States or elsewhere around the world. It was just really interesting to hear these little bits that are ingrained in their culture, for manners and respect and etiquette, are just considered so foreign here, so alien, that they feel ostracized here for doing those things. And yet, when they're in their own home country, they'll say you're too Western, and there's no way to win, essentially. But it's a really good song. And then you have Faya, and my absolute favorite song on the album is 2.0. Such a good beat. It's probably not the best song to start with if you've never heard their stuff before, just because it is a little more, it can feel disjointed in parts, and it doesn't have like this little catchy chorus that you can sing along to or anything. So not the best first song, but definitely a good song. The following song after it is called Number 29, and it's not really a song. It's literally just this one single ring of Korean's 29th national treasure, King Songduk's bell. And this bell is hundreds upon hundreds of years old. It's not rang actively or regularly anymore. In fact, the last time it had been rang before this recording had been at least 5 years prior. And the only reason they recorded this one was to ensure that everything was still working properly, because it's getting older and it's kept outside, so it's not always protected from the elements. And that's how, they can't move the bell inside. It's impossible. So they do what they can to protect it, and just check on the integrity of the bell. And the last time they did the sound test on it, this was recorded. So it's a really special song. It's literally just the one ding, lasts for like 1 minute and 30 seconds. And it kind of acts as a transition from the harder, more hip-hop-y part of the album into their softer songs, their new selves. And Normal is great on that side, and their title track Swim is on that side, and it's an okay song. I really do like Normal, and I also really like Animals. It's definitely more vocal line based versus rap line based, so if you prefer vocal songs, that's the better half of the album to try. But I really enjoyed this album as a whole because you had both parts and they were easily separated. So if you only like the first half, you don't have to skip a bunch of songs to get to it, to the next rap song. I don't think there's a single skip on the album. I listened to Number 29 in its entirety every single time. But I really do enjoy it. And it was such a good album. I really enjoyed the documentary, the comeback special, and I'm sitting down waiting to watch the documentary probably this weekend, just because it's something where I want to actually sit and read the subtitles, not the dubbed version. That just is weird for me. And so I can't craft when I do that. So that's kind of it for the K-pop world, other than a friend was able to successfully get light sticks for us at Target finally. Bella's coming to say hello. Mommy's busy right now, baby. So she has to be the star. I apologize. But yeah, so that is everything. I hope that, ma'am, I hope that y'all are having a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. Until then, do what makes your heart sing. For me, that's 2 sticks and string. See ya.